That Christmas, my folks gave my sister's kid a $3,500 Disney journey. My mother hugged my niece and softly said, "You truly deserve it all." My son uncovered his present, a mere $5 voucher and a sermon on cultivating gratitude. I simply grinned, packed our possessions, and left that very evening. 1 week later, they contacted me sobbing. Can you imagine watching your own parents, your own family, hand one grandchild a full-blown Disneyland vacation, and then, without missing a beat, give your child a $5 gift card, telling him to be grateful? What the hell would you do? Because that's exactly what happened to me, and it changed everything. My name is Ashton. I'm 34, a dentist. The quiet one. I'm good at fixing cracked molars and calming nervous kids. But in my own family, I was always the background noise. My younger sister, Mia, she was the headline. The glitter, the golden child. If Mia sneezed, it was a miracle. If I saved a tooth, it was, "Good job, honey. Do you take walk-ins?" I grew up learning to make myself small, to be available. Car battery died. I jumped it. Need a ride? I drove. Dad forgot his wallet again. I covered the bill without a scene. I told myself that's what family does. You help, you swallow the little cuts, and you keep smiling. This Christmas Eve was at my parents' house. Warm lights, pine candles, Mia's daughter, Lily, running around in a Minnie Mouse sweater. I came straight from an emergency patient, still smelling faintly of mint, glove lines on my wrists. My wife, Naomi, squeezed my hand before we even went in. "Let's keep it simple," she whispered. "If it gets weird, we leave." The living room was crowded. Mom was in full hostess mode. Dad, in his candy cane tie, was already by the tree. Mia, of course, walked in late, dramatic as always, clutching a glittery bag like it was an Oscar. My son, Caleb, 7, hugged me, asking if Santa liked fluoride. We did dinner. We did small talk. Dad even made a joke about root canals, and I laughed, because I always laugh. Then came gifts. Mom picked up a big white envelope with a gold bow. She called Lily to the front, crouched down, and hugged her. I saw Mom lean in, whisper, "You deserve the world." Everyone cooed. Lily ripped it open and screamed, "Disneyland." A full family package. Mia's voice lifted, listing everything. Flights, hotel, park hopper, Genie Plus, character breakfast. The whole 9 yards. Mom announced it was $3,500, but she's only little once. And then, Mom reached for a small, red card. "Caleb, sweetie." She beamed, like she was bestowing a great favor. Caleb took the envelope, looked up at me first, then opened it. A $5 gift card. Mom cleared her throat, tapping a folded paper. And a little note for our boy about gratitude. Because learning to be grateful is better than toys. The room went quiet. That heavy, slow quiet. Caleb, sweet, innocent Caleb, read the card out loud, stumbling over the word entitled. He laughed, because he didn't know what it meant. Naomi's jaw tightened. I felt the old heat rise in my chest, and then sink even colder. Dad clapped once. Character building, Ashton. You agree. I smiled. The kind that doesn't reach your eyes. Great lesson, I said. Mia snorted. Don't look so serious, Ash. It's just gifts. Mom added. Well, Lily's had a hard year. She deserves a win. Caleb clutched that little card in both hands, like it might break. He whispered, Dad, can I buy a candy cane with this? Sure, buddy, I said, putting my arm around him. Naomi kept her eyes on me, waiting. The night pushed forward. Dessert. Forced cheer. Small cuts, same pattern. As we left, Mom hugged me. Don't be sensitive, she whispered. You know we love you. Try to teach Caleb not to compare himself to others. It's tacky. I nodded. Got it. Snow was starting to fall. I buckled Caleb in. Naomi slid into the passenger seat, slowly, as if each movement was a decision. She looked at me. Are we really okay? I stared at the porch light, blinking on, off, on. We will be, I said. And I meant it, though I didn't know yet the shape of that promise. I didn't become background overnight, you know? It was years of little edits. When Mia and I were kids, we got the same straight-A report card. She got a bike. I got, keep it up. Her soccer team lost. Mom baked brownies to cheer her up. I lost a science fair ribbon, Dad said. Life's not fair. Get used to it. And I did. In college, I tutored Mia for her CNA program. She got praised for working so hard. I got a text. Can you Venmo $200 for her exam fees? We're tight this month. I sent it. Senior year, my car died. I walked to the clinic and back for 2 weeks. Dad said, toughen up. Months later, Mia's car needed brakes. Suddenly, the family fund existed. I paid half. The rest magically appeared. Dental school wasn't easy money. People think dentists print cash. Reality? Tuition that makes your eyes water. I worked part-time evenings sterilizing instruments, studied until 2 a.m., and lived on rice, eggs, and terrible coffee. I graduated with 6 figures of debt and a habit of measuring toothpaste like it was gold. First job, I took every emergency slot, every Saturday. I kept saying yes. It became my reflex. I helped everyone. When Mia couldn't cover rent one summer, I wrote a check. When Dad's crown cracked and he wanted a free fix because family, I drove in on my day off. Mom needed rides after a minor procedure. I rescheduled patients. Ashton's such a rock, they'd tell people. I felt proud and tired. Naomi met me in that phase. She was a nurse then. Steady hands, calm voice, fierce eye for nonsense. She watched me say yes to everyone and asked a simple question. Do they ever say yes back? I said, they're family. She said, that's not an answer. Then Caleb was born. Overnight, my capacity for noise and chaos expanded, but my patience for being used, it shrank. I started keeping track, not because I wanted payback, but because details kept me grounded. 18 airport runs for Mia in 2 years. $4,300 in loans that never came back. 27 times I covered the dinner check because Dad forgot his wallet. 11 times they called me to fix something, then hung up after. Thanks, son. Before I could even say I was busy. When we bought our small townhouse, we invited everyone over. Mom walked through the door, scanned the room, and asked, you sure you can afford this? I said yes. She touched the dining table. Maybe skip vacations for a while. We hadn't taken one in 4 years. Mia's life looked different. New phone every launch. Spontaneous bachelorette trip she didn't pay for. When she had Lily, my parents turned into fountains. They bought a stroller that cost more than our mortgage payment. She deserves the best, Mom said. You know how hard being a mother is. Naomi laughed that night. A sound with no humor. I guess I'm a ghost, she said. You're a nurse and a mom, I said. Double ghost. The money talk got louder when Caleb turned 5. He wanted a small party with a dinosaur cake. My parents arrived late, empty-handed. During happy birthday, Dad took a call. After cake, Mom handed Caleb an envelope with a scratch-off lottery ticket. This is fun. Teaches hope. He scratched it. Nothing. She laughed. See? A lesson. Contrast that with Lily's birthday, a rented indoor playground, a custom balloon arch, a pony photo op, because why not? The party favors alone were nicer than any gift Caleb got from them that year. Naomi carefully cropped photos of Caleb, keeping only the pure smile when his friend gave him a homemade card. I kept telling myself it was just a phase. People have blind spots. Parents stumble. But it wasn't a stumble. It was a pattern. And patterns pay dividends if you let them. This fall, the money requests shifted into expectations. Mia called, voice breathy with urgency. They raised daycare rates again. I'm drowning. Can you send $600? You make good money, I said. We're saving for Caleb's braces and life, she said. But you have that dentist's salary. I said, and debt, she huffed. It must be nice to have a safety net. I looked around my kitchen at the fridge that hummed too loud. My safety net, I told her, is a spreadsheet. 2 weeks later, Dad invited me to lunch. The server hadn't even taken our order when he said, your sister needs help. Real help. You and Naomi don't need much. You're practical. You can lower your lifestyle a little. I stirred my water with a straw. Lower it to what? He shrugged. Family sacrifices. I asked, when do they sacrifice for us? He frowned like I'd told a dirty joke. Don't make this about fairness, Ashton. Life isn't fair. At Thanksgiving, Mom floated a new idea over mashed potatoes. We're thinking of starting an education fund for Lily. We'll manage it, but since you're doing well, you can contribute monthly. Automatic draft is easiest. Naomi coughed. What about a fund for Caleb? Mom smiled thinly. He doesn't need it as much. Ashton's stable. I stared at the gravy boat and thought about enamel. Once it's gone, it's gone. You can't grow it back. Boundaries feel like enamel. You have to protect them early. Then came Christmas. The whispers. The envelope. The $3,500 trip. The $5 card. The lecture about gratitude. The room had a low hum, like a drill far away. Caleb's eyes were bright and confused. Naomi didn't speak. I could feel the moment hardening into something I couldn't sand down later. On the drive home, Caleb held the gift card between two fingers. $5 is still money, he said bravely. I can buy 2 candy canes. Naomi's voice was soft. You don't have to be brave right now, honey. I kept both hands at 10 and 2 on the wheel. We're okay, I said. We're going to be okay. I meant it. But, okay, wasn't going to live in that house anymore. We didn't make a scene that night. We got home, tucked Caleb in, and sat at the kitchen table. The house was quiet except for the heater kicking on. Naomi put her palms flat on the table. Say it, she said. I stared at the scuffed edge of the table. I'm done. She nodded. Good. What does done look like? Boundaries, I said. The word felt boring and strong. No more money. No more errands. No more automatic drafts. No more gifting down while being lectured up. Christmas next year? She asked. Us. Home, I said. Or somewhere that doesn't require swallowing my kid's dignity. She exhaled. Okay. I stood and started packing. Not the dramatic throwing of things. The quiet kind. Documents, keepsakes, photo albums my mother insisted on keeping at her house for safekeeping. I texted my dad. We're picking up our photo albums tomorrow. Please set them aside. He replied an hour later. Don't be childish. Then 9 a.m. or not at all. At 8:58 a.m., we were on their porch. Dad opened the door with that strange smile. The albums were definitely not set aside. Mom hovered in the kitchen. Mia wasn't there, but her voice lived in the house like perfume. Morning, I said. We'll just grab our things and go. Dad waved a hand. Sit. Talk. We didn't sit. Mom started with a sigh that was basically a script. Ashton, last night was about teaching Caleb values. Lily's gift was from us and Mia together. You know how hard she works. Sure, I said. This won't take long. Mom lifted her chin. You're overreacting to a single moment. I opened the hall closet and pulled down the first album. It's not a single moment. Dad's voice sharpened. Don't take that tone. I stacked albums. Naomi stood beside me, steady. Caleb picked up a photo of his first missing tooth and smiled at it like it was a friend. Dad tried again. You think you're better than us because you're a dentist? I looked at him. I think I'm tired. Mom crossed her arms. We love Caleb. The $5 card was symbolic. Naomi's voice finally cut in, calm and surgical. Symbolic of what? Mom blinked. Gratitude. For him, Naomi asked, or for you? Silence. Dad's jaw twitched. I put the last album in the box and lifted it. We're heading out, Dad said. If you walk out like this, don't expect us to fund anything for Caleb. Not his activities, not his school, not his braces. I smiled faintly. You never did. He stepped closer. You think you can punish us? I shook my head. This isn't about punishment. I set the box down so my hands were free, so he'd see I wasn't leaving angry. Just leaving. This isn't about revenge. This is about closure. Mom's eyes flashed. Closure from what? From being the background, I said. From being the wallet. From asking my son to swallow small humiliations with a smile. Mom reached for Caleb. Come give Grandma a hug. Caleb looked up at me. I nodded. He hugged her. She whispered, too loud, learn to share the spotlight. We left with our box. I buckled Caleb in. Naomi touched my shoulder once. A tiny press that said everything. We didn't slam doors. We didn't send a manifesto. I blocked the group chat and set my phone to filter unknown calls. I emailed Dad later that day. 5 lines. From now on, no loans, gifts, or payments. No errands or rides. Holidays are at our home. Any gifts to Caleb go through us first. If those terms don't work for you, that's okay. We'll keep our distance. I ended it, wishing you well. Then I closed the laptop and took Caleb to buy the biggest candy cane we could find. It cost $3.50. He handed the cashier his $5 card with the concentration of a surgeon. He kept the receipt like it was a trophy. That night, we moved the last of our things from the closet at my parents'. Old baby clothes Mom insisted on storing there. 2 boxes of Caleb's art. We were out by 9 p.m., snow in our hair. Our house suddenly feeling bigger because it was only ours. I slept like a person who had turned off a machine that had been buzzing for years. The first 3 days were quiet in that eerie way. No group chat dings. No can you swing by texts. I saw 14 missed calls from Mom by day 2. I didn't return them. On day 4, 2 emails arrived. Subject, concern. Subject, you're tearing the family apart. I didn't open them. Naomi and I made pancakes for dinner and taught Caleb how to flip one without turning it into scrambled eggs. Day 5, Dad left a voicemail. Be a man and answer your mother. He followed it with a second voicemail. Fine. I'll talk to Naomi. She'll be reasonable. I added a filter to voicemail transcripts and saved them in a folder named Boundaries. Day 6. Mia texted from a new number. You're being dramatic. Mom and Dad did their best. Don't punish Lily. Then a second text. We need $750 for flights to Anaheim. Prices went up. Since you don't do gifts, maybe you can contribute to the experience? Naomi read it twice, then laughed once, loud, in the quiet kitchen. I typed and deleted responses. I said nothing. Day 7. The tone changed. My mother called Naomi. While I was at the office, I came home to Naomi on the couch, phone on speaker. Mom's voice thin and breathy. Ashton is ruining Christmas memories. Lily is confused. She keeps asking why Caleb's daddy is mad. Naomi said, we're not mad. We're done. My mom started crying. The kind of crying where you can't hear the performance. We gave what we could. We thought a $5 card would teach gratitude. Naomi said, he's 7. He needed kindness. Mom sniffed. We always knew Naomi was controlling. Naomi ended the call. That night, my phone lit up again. 23 missed calls, 2 voicemails. I sat at the table, stared at the list, and felt this calm spread through me. Not petty, not triumphant. Just finished. At work, my assistant asked why I looked taller. I said, I slept. I did molar extractions with a steady hand I hadn't felt in months. I took a late lunch alone in the break room and realized I wasn't checking my phone every 5 minutes for the next obligation. On Friday, a message landed from Dad. Family meeting Sunday. Non-negotiable. Naomi looked at me. What do you want to do? I'm not going, I said. But I'll write. I sent a short text to the old group thread, even though I'd muted it. Not attending. Our terms stand. If you want to be in Caleb's life, show up with respect. If not, we'll be okay. Mia replied in under a minute. Respect goes both ways. I didn't answer. 10 minutes later, Mom sent a paragraph about how I had always been ungrateful. I archived it. Dad sent, so no money ever. I put my phone face down and built a Lego set with Caleb on the rug. Sunday arrived, and instead of a meeting, we went to the park. It was bright and icy. Caleb chased Naomi between the slides while I held hot chocolate and watched my family, my small, intact, enough family, move through the cold like we owned the day. After the park, we stopped at the grocery store. At the checkout, I saw a rack of gift cards. I picked one up, turned it over. $5, I said. Naomi rolled her eyes. I bought it anyway and handed it to Caleb. You know what this one buys? He shrugged. Candy cane gum? I said, for after flossing. He grinned. That evening, the apologies started. Except they weren't apologies. They were negotiations. We didn't mean it that way. You're too sensitive. Okay, maybe the Disneyland thing was a little much, but you know how Mia is. Let it go, Ashton. I didn't answer. I cooked. I lined up lunchboxes. I set out Caleb's uniform. I flossed. I went to bed. Monday morning, Dad showed up at my office without an appointment. He stood at the front desk, heavy in his coat, and announced, I need a crown fixed. Our receptionist said, next opening is Thursday. He said, I'm his father. She said, Thursday. He sat down, huffing. I came out between patients and led him to an empty consult room. He started, your mother hasn't slept. Mia is hysterical. Lily is crying. You can't be this cruel. I sat down. How can I help you with your tooth? He stared, then laughed without humor. That's how you want to play it, Dad? I said, I sent terms. You ignored them. This is me following them. His voice rose. We gave you everything. I counted breaths. I gave you time, money, and respect for years. I asked for none of it back. Now I'm asking for a boundary. He leaned forward. You'll regret this. I won't, I said softly. But even if I did, it would still be mine. He shook his head and left. He didn't fix the crown that week. I didn't call to reschedule. It felt strange, like touching a tooth that used to hurt and feeling nothing. A few days later, Mia posted photos. Lily with a princess. Mia with a cocktail. Captions about magic and dreams. Mom commented hearts. There was no mention of who paid. Maybe they moved money around. Maybe someone else covered it. Maybe debt would knock later. Not my business. Our life got simple. Naomi and I made a new rule. No discussions about my parents after 9 p.m. We moved Caleb's bedtime earlier. We ate together 3 nights in a row. On Saturday, I took Caleb to the clinic and let him sit in the big chair. Is this what you do? He asked. Mostly, I said. Does it hurt people? No, I said. I help them feel better. He nodded. Like you did for us. I looked at him. Yeah, I said. Like that. Then the week passed, and just when the silence felt permanent, the phone rang on a Wednesday night at 8:42 p.m. It was Mom. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. I let it ring. She called Naomi. Naomi glanced at me. I shook my head. The call ended. Then came a text from Dad. Emergency. Call now. Naomi put her hand on my arm. Your call. I called. Mom answered with a rush of breath. Ashton, thank God. Your sister. Her voice cracked. Lily fell at the playground. She broke a tooth. A front one. She's in pain. Mia is panicking. The ER said to see a dentist. We thought, we need you. I closed my eyes. I know children's teeth. I know pain. I also know patterns. What's the plan? I asked. We're on our way to your office. Mom said, please, we'll be there in 15. I glanced at Naomi. She nodded once. Okay, I said. I'll meet you there. On the drive, the car was quiet. Naomi finally said, I'm proud of you. Either way. I asked. Either boundary or help with terms, she said. As long as it's your choice. We pulled into the lot. I unlocked the door and turned on lights. 5 minutes later, Mia ran in carrying Lily, who was sobbing, lips swollen, a chip out of her front tooth. Ash, Mia said, breathless. Please. I looked at Lily. Hey kiddo, I've got you. I looked at Mia. Before we start, 2 things. Mia blinked. Now, I said. 1, you consent to treatment and the cost. 2, after this, you and Mom and Dad follow our terms. No lectures, no uneven gifts, no money asks. Respect for my family. Mom started. Ashton. I raised a hand. This is me being clear. Mia swallowed. I saw a shiny line of tears in her eyes. Okay. Yes. Please, just help her. I helped her. 30 minutes later, Lily left with a temporary fix, pain reliever, instructions, and an appointment time for a proper restoration. Mia hugged me in the hallway, stiff, like an old habit fighting new rules. Thank you, she said. I'm sorry for things. Me too, I said. I didn't say for what. I didn't try to tidy the past in a single sentence. We locked up. I carried home the quiet like a warm coat. The next morning, I woke up to an email from my mother. No emojis, no scripts, just words. Ashton, I'm sorry. We were wrong. We thought we were teaching lessons. We were repeating patterns. I don't want to lose you or Naomi or Caleb. We will follow your terms. Mom, Dad sent a separate text. I don't know how to do this, but I want to try. Thursday at 3 p.m. for the crown. I replied, Thursday works. Bring your insurance card. He said, copy. Mia texted, thank you for helping Lily. I told her Uncle Ash is a hero. I know that's not your job. We'll respect your family. I mean it. I didn't feel triumphant. I felt steady, like a tooth seeded right after months of ache. We didn't rush back. We didn't plan joint vacations. We didn't rewrite history in a group hug. We started small. A coffee with Mom where she listened more than she talked. A visit with Dad where he showed up on time and paid at the counter without making a scene. A Sunday afternoon at our place where Lily and Caleb built a tower out of blocks, and nobody made a joke about gratitude. At our house, we keep those 5 lines printed on a card on the fridge. Not as a threat, but as a compass. When someone slips, and they do, we point to the card. Boundaries aren't a wall, they're a map. If you asked me what changed most, I'd tell you it wasn't them. It was me. I stopped auditioning for a role I never wanted. I stopped calling humiliation lessons. I stopped letting a $5 card define my kid. I'm not interested in revenge. I'm interested in clean margins, in a calendar that belongs to the 3 of us, in holidays that don't taste like swallowing glass. My name is Ashton. I'm 34. I'm a dentist. I fix what I can fix, and I let go of what's not mine. I love my wife. I love my son. I love peace more than I love being included. And if you're wondering about next Christmas, it's here, at our table, with hot cocoa and lopsided gingerbread, and a gift for Caleb that says, plainly and without lectures, "You deserve the world, too." Have you ever had to draw a line like this with family? What would you have done in my place? I really want to know what you think.